You know, air at the service station for your tires used to be free. Now they're charging for it. It's like $1.50. Damn inflation. Well, I was saying in the last week's video about how dry it was, and then guess what? This morning it absolutely let loose here just around my home yard, so it's pretty awesome. There's puddles everywhere. This was absolutely dust bone dry before. It's soaking right in. It's just awesome. I'm switching to canola next, and just got a little bit of barley and I guess peas too, but just a quarter of peas to do after this. So, and then I was going to do canola. So it's pretty nice to have some moisture to seed into. I got the tractor out of the yard, or out of the field there, brought it back to the yard, and actually there's mud on it. So I didn't think I'd be seeing mud on my tractor this year. So it's pretty fortunate to get this rain. Even though it kind of slows me down for seeding, I don't care, because the canola was just going to sit in the ground anyways. It's still kind of spitting a bit, but about an hour ago it absolutely poured, so pretty good. Pretty nice little rain. So I'm out walking to go get my truck, the service truck. Doesn't look too muddy out here, but if you were to drive into here with anything too big, it would definitely make a mess. So earlier this week I was working on the auger on the air cart, and I was looking up inside of it to see if the shear bolt had went on it, had broken, and when I looked up, a fleck of something fell into my eye. I thought nothing of it. I went a couple days and it was kind of bothering me a little bit. I thought I got it out, and then no, and then so it started to bother me enough the other morning that I figured I better go to the eye doctor, and sure enough I had a piece of metal in my eye. So they were able to get it out, and now I'm wearing like a clear contact just to protect it, and for a couple days, and I'm putting some antibiotics into it. But yeah, so now I am carrying 3 pairs of safety glasses in my tractor. So my warning to everybody out there is to make sure you put on safety glasses when you're working on stuff, and don't get in so much of a rush that you figure you can do it without it, because really you, like one guy told me, he only got 2 eyes, so you better look after him. So I'm out on my home quarter here, spraying some pre-seed burn on some wheat stubble where I'm putting canola down. It's a pretty important process because without it, we get quite a few perennial weeds that are pretty persistent and come up through the crop and get a head start on the canola. So this helps give the canola a fighting chance early on. The crop isn't seeded yet, so it's just spraying it directly onto the weeds that are growing currently. You get some quackgrass and some dandelions coming up early, and some thistle, but yeah, for the most part, it helps control those early weeds and gives the crop the fighting chance it deserves. So that's my job for the next couple of days, is doing all the fields where the canola is going in. So this is my GPS or auto steer for my sprayer. Running it helps me to concentrate more on my boom height and watching things like how good of a job I'm doing so the boom isn't up in the air. But yeah, it helps quite a bit in the coop. It was the first place I had auto steer because we were running foam markers before, and before that on the field sprayer we pulled a tire for a while and some different markers. But yeah, it does make a huge difference on the job we do now. It's especially out in these hills and sloughs and stuff I have. Sometimes it's a little bit tricky to stay straight. So yeah, it's a pretty important part of farming now. So yeah, you can kind of see on there that it follows that line for me as long as that green steering wheel is in place. It shows my rate, which is just, I'm only going like 2.5 gallons of water, so it's low water volume too, so it seems to do a better job. Less water. There's the farm there. Yeah, it's always the lower you can get within a reason, it does a better job. So you want to be about 20 inches up off the ground, 24 inches. It gets the best spray pattern. Keeping the pressure a little bit lower helps too in the wind. Not much of a wind this morning, so it's kind of nice, but yeah, it's a pretty simple cab, the spray coops. There's not too much going on. The most complicated thing is probably the auto steer. Keeps track of everything. It does all the volume and everything too, so water volume and that. So yeah, it's fairly straightforward. Most of that now is controlled automatically, so I don't have to flip the booms every time, and keeping everything on the pump stays on pretty much constant because it shuts itself on and off when I get into areas that I've already sprayed. So pretty simple. So I used to lift the bags up here one at a time to throw in because I didn't want to run them through the auger because they get all chewed up and you end up with a bunch left in the auger. So I used to carry them up the stairs one at a time, throw them in, and it used to be a real headache. Now I have my Genie Zoom Boom, and holy cow, this has made life so much easier. And yes, I ended up with A's, which is the smallest seat, so they're little bags, I guess, which is the positive. They're not as heavy, but small seed isn't always the best. So yeah, I gotta set this at 4.2 pounds basically to get the proper seed count. So there must be about 42 pounds in each one of those bags instead of 50. But yeah, the Zoom Boom, once you got them, holy cow, I tell you, you can find lots of jobs for them. They're sure handy. So I started seeding on the home quarter. I'm seeding canola here. You can see the yard over there, the old barn and the bin yard. Seeding north-south. It's doing a really nice job. It's kind of nice that we got that rain the last 3 or 4 days here. And even though it slowed me down from seeding, it sure makes seeding canola a lot nicer. I'm only seeding at about an inch into the ground, so it has to have moisture right up close. But yeah, it's doing a nice job. It's working really nice and there's no dust, which is a nice break. Should germinate pretty quick. The ground's pretty warm, and with this moisture in there, it'll pop up really fast. So I guess it can walk fast enough. It's gonna make me keep ahead of me. I don't know. Nope, there goes. Oh, there was 2 of them. Just finishing up the home quarter, last couple passes. And then I'm moving over to another quarter to the west, about a half mile, and keep going on canola.